So you were recently in LA to talk on KTLA about some of your top TV picks for the Super Bowl. So tell me about, what are you thinking? What's trending right now? What would you buy if you had to go out and buy a TV today for Sunday?
Well, okay, so here's what's up. So I went down to KTLA, and they wanted me to kind of give a breakdown of different TV options. So I didn't want to give specific. I did give one specific model, but I kept it more general. Here's the best you can get. Here's very good, and then here's my TV for the every man. Can I say every man in 2019? The every person.
Sure.
The every person. So high end. Did you see this at CES? Samsung's booth.
The 8K.
The 8K.
Oh my gosh.
TV. 8K is so crazy. Now they're selling one. You can actually go to Best Buy right now.
Oh, nice.
And buy. There's one 8K TV on the market, and it's Samsung's. It's an 85-inch TV. 85-inch QLED. $15,000.
Ooh.
Plus tax.
Oh.
Plus tax. Unless you go down to Portland. In our area, you can drive down to Portland. A lot of people will do that trick. I'm going to go to Portland and save tax. Now, in this case, you're saving
that would be worth it.
Yeah, you're saving $1,500 in tax.
What kind of refresh rate are we talking about?
It's basically the same as their other TVs. So I believe it's either a 120 or 240 refresh rate.
Wow.
It's cute. It's a high end, obviously, TV.
Yeah.
The cool thing is not that I expect people to go out and rush out and buy a $15,000 TV. Since there's not a lot of 8K content, they've really been focusing on trying to make sure that its upscaling is up to par, so that if you're watching 4K or even 1080p, it'll upscale it to 8K and actually look good.
Oh, nice.
So at CES, they were showing, here's a 4K feed, here's a 1080p feed, here's the upscaled version, and it actually looked better, which is very rare. Usually upscaling looks terrible.
Yeah.
So that's one option. If you want to have the best TV on the block for your Super Bowl party, you're going to go out and buy a $15,000.
It'll be the most popular house on the
Yeah,
block.
people are going to want to come over, play games on that.
That's a huge TV, 85 inch. That's taller than me.
How tall are you?
5'2".
Now I'm curious. Wow, you're down there. I'm not much taller than that.
You're down there.
I'm 5'6". Wait, no, I'm 5'7" and a half. When you're short, you have to throw the and a half on there.
Yeah.
Even if it's not and a half, you just want to say it just to make your height sound a little longer.
Every half inch counts.
Yes. Okay, so that is the $15,000 Samsung.
Yeah.
Now, let's get more practical.
Yeah, if I don't want to spend
right.
$15,000,
that's like the cost of a
reel
Kia.
it
That's
in.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Kia.
let's go down to OLED. Have you seen the OLED TVs?
Okay, no, I haven't.
Okay, so OLED, these are the super thin TVs. They're organic light emitting diode. It's an organic compound, which means it's technically a living compound.
Okay.
Living things die eventually. So that's the one thing about OLEDs is that they are going to fade out and eventually not work. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen in a year. Probably, I would be surprised if you bought an OLED today and 10 years from now, it was still giving you the same performance, though. That said, very thin, very amazing black levels, and the picture is pretty amazing. The thing about Super Bowl season, leading into Super Bowl, you're seeing companies that sell TVs like the Best Buys, the Amazons, they're dropping prices because they expect you.
Oh.
Everybody wants to upgrade their TV for Super Bowl. So Black Friday and Super Bowl, those are the times. You can pick up a good OLED TV. Typically, they're $3,000, but you're going to see them right now for around $2,000. So if you want to get a good OLED TV, $2,000.
That sounds a lot better than $15,000.
Yes, still expensive. Now, here's a stat you may not know. 98% of the TVs sold in the United States sell for under $2,000. 98%.
Okay.
So that means all the TVs, when you go into Best Buy, the vast majority of people are not buying those expensive TVs. Almost everybody, 98 out of 100 people, will buy a budget TV.
Okay.
They spend under.
I'd probably fall into that category.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Most people aren't trying, they just want a TV that's good enough. So, my good enough TV recommendation, the TV I recommend for the average consumer out there is a TCL 6 Series.
Okay.
Are you aware of TCL?
Yes, I've heard, of course.
Okay.
I've heard of
Just
TCL.
asking. Not many people have. I mean, they're still fairly new in the U.S. market. Jake, have you heard of TCL?
I have heard of TCL.
All right.
And how much is their TV that you recommend?
So the TCL 6 Series is the one I recommend specifically because it feels like it is a high-quality TV for a budget price.
Okay.
So a 55-inch version of the 6 Series right now is selling for $629.
Oh, that's reasonable.
It's very reasonable. It has full array backlighting, which means it tries to mimic the black levels of an OLED by using the backlighting that it has in there. So it's not super thin because of the backlighting, but it gives you a great picture. It's 4K. It has Roku built in, so you don't need to buy any sort of set-top box.
That's good.
Roku's built in. And it looks good. Like the frame and everything is brushed metal. It's not plastic. You're getting a pretty high-quality TV for $629, which will still make you look good when you have your friends over for the big game. Why do you have to say big game, by the way? You know about that?
No.
Like you're not supposed to say Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, like we're doing a news show, so it's okay.
Oh.
But like if you're like, hey, we have our big game contest, like you can't say our Super Bowl, like Super Bowl like is a very protected term. So whenever you watch TV, like pay attention to the TV and radio, they will always say the big game and they won't say Super Bowl.